Howdy, heck and hello, H2Os, Roller Bros, and Natasha Romanovs alike. I'm your guide, Q. Welcome back to some r/Am I the Antagonist. We've got some spicy stories to go through today, and you guys can give me your opinion on what you think of them, and I will definitely be giving my opinion, so let's just get into it. Am I the antagonist for telling the cashier that it wasn't the girl's credit card? Throwaway because husband told me that I was the antagonist, and I want to know before I get home and argue. On phone, format is bad. I was in a higher-end department store today, rhymes with looming tales, and happened to end up next to two teenaged girls while shopping. One of the girls had picked out a very expensive pair of boots, and they were both fawning over them. Second girl must have looked at the price tag and asked Boots girl if she's really going to spend that much on boots. Girl with boots says something along the lines of, "Oh, it's fine, I have my dad's credit card, I'm not paying," which instantly caught my attention because that's not her card. I've told my son multiple times he's never allowed to use my card, so I'm interested to see how this girl thinks she's going to get away with fraud, but I had to split up from the girls at this point because they'd found something else. We end up at the same register, me behind, and I see her total hit well over 4 digits. The girl is about to swipe her card when I decide that I can't let her get away with something like this, and someone has to parent this kid if no one else will. I tell cashier that this isn't her card, but her father's, and I'm not sure she has permission. Girl and friend turn and glare at me, giving me possibly the dirtiest look I've ever seen. I swear this girl was going to throw a tantrum right there. I don't think she was ever told no. Girl tells cashier her father gave her the card to shop with because it's the store's credit card and it gives him the points. Now that I've pointed out that it wasn't hers, cashier tells her she can't use that card. Girl tries to show ID to prove that they have the same last name. Yeah, that'll help. And I tell her it's still fraud. Girl says it's not fraud because she has permission and tells me to mind my own business. I tell her that it is my business, that she's doing something illegal and she needs to pay with her own card or I call the cops. Girl is pissed now and people are glaring at me. She uses her own card and leaves crying. Cashier looks mad at me and I tell my husband when I get home, only for him to agree that I was in the wrong. So Reddit, am I the antagonist? Now, I just want to start off by saying that I do have somewhat of a bias in the situation. Spoiled kids do deeply annoy me. People that just get everything in the world given to them by their parents. I think it's a bad way to parent your kids. I think you should have some limitations and show them that money is not unlimited and it doesn't grow on trees and you earned all that stuff or whatever. But regardless of that, this woman, it was not her responsibility to jump in and save the day and own this spoiled child. For all she knows, the father could have given the daughter full consent to use that credit card at this store. Now she has to use her own credit card and her father's not going to get the points, so he's probably going to be upset about that. Plus he's probably going to have to reimburse this girl for the purchase because he gives her everything she could ever want. It would have been different if the girl would have been like, "Oh, my dad'll never know that I used his credit card on this," or she was trying to pull off some sneaky stuff or something like that. But it sounds like he just allows her to do this sort of thing, and it's not your place to come in and serve some spoiled kid justice. When it comes to spoiled kids, I just want to leave off with something I've had to learn myself. You have to concede to the fact that either one, their spoiledness will catch up to them someday and reality will hit them like a ton of bricks, or they're just going to be happy and have everything they've ever wanted for the rest of their lives. You're not in control of how their life turns out, sadly. Would I be the antagonist if I stopped inviting my triggered friend to movie night? TLDR at the bottom. Every couple of weeks, me, female 24, and my friends get together for a classic movie night at my house. We drink, joke around, and watch old movies deemed to be important to film. Good times. The problem, one friend, 23 female, has been through an awful trauma recently which has affected her profoundly. Our group is really huddled around her to make sure she's okay and lend our support any way we can. But in the last few times we got together, she got triggered by the graphic scenes in the films we were watching and politely asks that we stop. The first time was Rosemary's Baby and the second was Taxi Driver, if that matters. Of course, we all wanted to be sensitive, so both times we immediately turned it off, and the group quickly dispersed after. Kind of a bummer. Independently, friends from the group have asked that I not invite her the next time because we want to watch Clockwork Orange, which will definitely be triggering to her. Okay, what a terrible idea for the next movie. Like, if you know that you have this problem, why not have the next week be something, like, reasonable and not so messed up? Clockwork Orange is one of the most excruciatingly disturbing grossing films of all time. Since I'm hosting, it is up to me, but since I usually invite everyone via a group chat that she is in, it would require some maneuvering to exclude her. God, I feel like such a prick, but my friends and I really want to be free to watch what we want without worrying about making her uncomfortable. Would I be the antagonist if I went out of my way not to invite her? Okay, so they add an edit. Wow, so it just took 45 minutes for me to realize that I am the antagonist. Some smart commenter posted an obvious solution. I'll be using unconsentingmedia.org from now on to vet our films before movie night. I guess those are, films that don't include any, like, sexually provocative or anything, depicting abuse in them. So if that's a resource that you'd like to use, unconsentingmedia.org might be a place for you to check out. To those saying we shouldn't care more about a movie than supporting our friends in need, you're right. I think this may be the first time I've seen a productive Am I the Antagonist post. I've actually seen a lot. Thanks for your help, guys. Edit number 2, wow again. To everyone PMing me telling me that I'm a pussy and a libtard for accepting my judgment and adjusting my position, you can go screw yourselves. I mean, yeah, this one seems super obvious to me that, yeah, you just not put that person through that. I mean, especially if they've just recently experienced some sort of trauma. I think that the best solution is to just watch movies that don't include that sort of thing when you do your big group get-together classic movie watch, and then maybe have another night of the week where you and some friends in an unofficial way get together and maybe watch something more disturbing. Because I know I like to watch horror movies. Sometimes those movies have extreme themes within them that some people would not be super into, and if you and your friends are into that, I feel like you can totally do that, just not with this person involved. But maybe don't not invite her to the main movie night you guys do. Am I the antagonist for telling my coworker about the reality of a 478 MCAT score? The MCAT is basically the entrance exam for medical schools in the United States. Applicants are graded from 472 to 528 based on a percentile. Why do you gotta be so special, medical schools? Why can't it just be 1 to 100? Like, Jesus, 472 to 528. A 478 is literally the bottom 2% of test takers. The median/average score that can maybe get you into a medical school is 500. You must score at least a 508 to be in the top 20% of applicants in a field where only about 20% of applicants each year are accepted into all of the medical schools in the country. Results for the June 15th exam came out yesterday. This coworker was happily telling people how she passed and got a 478. I myself aspire to be a doctor but postponed taking the MCAT because I've been unable to hit a 505 consistently in full-length practice tests. I've been trying to coach her, telling her that she must hit at least a 500 to even be considered as a serious applicant. Throughout this process, I've noticed that she didn't have a solid prep plan or a good idea of how to be a pre-med student. She's non-traditional like me. So when she was happily telling our other coworkers and the doctors we work for that she got a 478, I took her aside and tried to explain to her the reality of the situation as nicely as possible. I threw in some encouraging words about the virtues of retaking, implored her to hit the Kaplan books, and really research the kind of schools she wants to apply to. She just wants to get in anywhere. I asked her to reconsider postponing her applications until next year. She had already sent out some primaries but hadn't gotten any secondary applications back. She was nearly in tears. It feels like I just crushed someone's dreams. She couldn't look me in the eye for the rest of the day. I feel like this is a great example of sometimes, like, doing the right thing for a friend or even a coworker that you just really like can be really hard and might not feel like the good thing in the moment. I just get so much secondhand embarrassment from hearing her, like, brag or be excited about her extremely low score on this test. Like, even though she passed, that's awesome, but, like, it really does sound like she's not going to have any chance of getting into a medical school with a score like this. So it might be tough for her to, like, live in that reality for right now, but I think it would have been even worse for her to constantly get rejected over and over again, and maybe she will take what you said to heart with time. So let me know what you think about the whole credit card situation, the triggered friend when they want to watch The Clockwork Orange, which is a terrible idea, and the last story we just talked about. There'll be polls for all of those things. You can let me know if anybody was in the wrong, or if there was nobody in the wrong, or if everybody sucked in the situation. I don't say this in enough, but we do also have merch. I got links to all of my social media in the description down below, alongside the Amazon affiliate links for all the equipment I use, except for my microphone. I still need to update that with a proper link for Amazon, so you'll see my old microphone if you're interested in that. It's actually pretty good for like music recording and performances, so consider checking that out. I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic day. I'll see you very soon. Skate on the best of your abilities. Make sure you're drinking more water, and yeah,